Can move him around. He doesn't really interact with things properly, but I can change the table values. But you could make it so that you can terraform. You know, you could do sort of popular style raising and lowering the land. You could build out into the water. You could like use an axe, chop down a tree, collect it and sort of have it in your inventory or something. Go around and you get like enough and then you can build you know, a house or something. Here's my little first person view of Grid World. A bit inspired by Betrayal at Krondor, one of my favourite games from when I was growing up. They need different pictures for depending on how far away they are. It started off as a top-down project, just using a table for the map, like this. But then I just thought maybe I could do this presented in a different way that feels more immersive. I like the idea of it looking like doing the art so it looks like a watercolour painting, and maybe, you know, have this as a sort of a wash in the background, and then have these sort of starting off alphaed out, maybe sort of additive or overlay at the back, and then at the front have them more solid and maybe still try some different blend approaches like overlay and multiply or additive, or maybe the foreground's more just normal blend mode, and you know, vary the trees and get this stuff so it looks cool. Maybe even change the composition of all these are sort of effectively just tiles, more and more of them as it goes back. And go for some sort of painterly look. Haven't really seen that done before, so it'd be interesting to see. It'd also be cool to have trees that change colour depending on, like you could have a seasonal clock, and a weather system and a day-night system, that even if it's just the day-night system, time of day could just be a tint that goes in front, and maybe switch the sky out for a different image, you know, change a few images but leave a lot of it. There's the bottom of the map. I'd like it to feel a bit sort of dark crystal or something. I want it to feel like a watercolour painting. Be interesting to see if I could make it feel like a place where you kind of know where you are and you recognise things in the distance. Have one-off locations, like certain, you know, have 3 different buildings, like a castle and a tower and a farm or something, and have one forest of one sort of trees and another forest of another sort of trees, and have a grey mountains and some brown mountains, and just sort of see if it feels like that you're in a little place and you can find your way around. Feels weird when there's mountains like that, there and there, and I'm sort of don't think you can move between them there, but you know, it looks like you can. But I think there's one there and there's one there, so if you could move diagonally, you could. But things, because they're flat, they don't actually take up space. That's a bit weird. Be better, I guess, if I couldn't move forwards now, so I can't move into that mountain. Because currently I can be on the mountain, rotating around. Right, what we've got here is my fancy map editor for my tile game, which is Excel. And all it is a table, and each one of these is a cell, and I've kind of color coded them so it feels a bit more like an editor. It's more WYSIWYG. So there's water. They just say water, 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 water. Grass, grass, mountain, mountain, tree, tree. And that's pretty much all it is. There's a castle, castle 1, tower 1. So, you know, it's very repetitive. That's why it's kind of boring just moving around in the world. But it would be cool to try to maybe just concentrate on a little bit somewhere and make it feel a bit more handcrafted. Just a little island, even if it's just that big, what you can see on the screen. Just put water around it. Say maybe make a little tile that's called Pelnor up here. You know, just put 3 locations on the map, and then have grass and water, and then have up here some grey mountains and some autumn trees, and then some brown mountains and some green trees, and you know, some pink blossom trees over here. And just see if you can kind of make that feel more like a nice place with unique nooks and crannies around the map. The next challenge would be to actually put some logic in the game, such as arriving in a town. Like, what happens if you actually go to one, and could you have, say, a friend character or a monster that possibly moves a tile each time you move a tile, or even if they stand still, can you go and talk to them? And I guess you'd need another table. Like, the annoying thing about not having a proper editor is that I don't know how I can have multiple properties for this cell, like the fact that it's grass, whether there's a monster there, or what. I guess I could just put in lots of words and read them in as a string into GameSalad that then asks itself questions for that tile, such as, if my tags contain the word grass or mountain or whatever, then make that my image, and if it contains the word Robert, then I also know there's a character here, that the character Robert is here. But I don't know, it seems like a bit of a sort of a messy way to do it, but it might work fine. Or else I could have lots of different tables, one for each purpose. So one keeps track of NPCs, The problem there is that when I go to edit the NPCs, I can't see any of this. The tables, I don't know whether there's a way to sort of correlate the tables over the top of one another and look at them relatively, or whether it would just be a whole lot of alt-tabbing back and forth between them and going, okay, I want NPC Robert to start at here, so that's 1528, so go to the other one and put him on 1528. Maybe everything's a bit hard with GameSalad, but then I guess everything's a bit hard with game development. See what happens.